I feel like obviously Group Baron has Gen G T1 really strong, but I feel like on average, like Group Elder has just like, you know, Life, E+, KT all look very, B&K FearX as well. It looks like it's hard to pick up wins. And, you know, for Bro, like DRX is probably your easiest opponent in Group Elder, but you can't afford to be giving up series against B&K FearX, or you're really going to struggle to pick up score.
Yeah, it feels like Group Elder is on average a little bit better, whereas Group Baron definitely very top-heavy, with two of probably the best teams in the league. And I say probably, it's almost definitely in T1 and Gen G. Although Hanwha did manage to take a game yesterday. I was getting very sleepy by the end of game 1, and I was like, oh, well, maybe Hanwha just wins. And I'm really glad that I watched the rest of the series, because that really did show that T1 are performing very, very well. We can see here as we dive into Champion Select, though, that the Malphite will be banned away. It's an interesting one, because I feel like B&K FearX have a lot of power when it comes to Malphite, because Vikla looks so good on the Sylas, but not going to take that risk.
Yeah, also Malphite yet to get a win.
Yeah, it feels like a trap, doesn't it? It's like the Kiana situation all over again.
Yeah, like we know the power of the pick, but just like it hasn't come...
The thing is, like, Malphite requires a certain level of mechanics. That's far below what our Korean players have. And so, like, this is part of the issue. They really need to dumb down their abilities in order to make the Yep Rock work. Is what I am assuming. That's why it's just not clicking. As the Jace remains permanently banned, I think he's almost been banned every single game so far of the LCK Cup. Rumble is very close to that as well, although we have seen him sneak through a couple of times. And speaking of sneaking through, we've got the Azir and Orianna trade, most likely, as Vikla is going to be picking up the Golden Pigeon to start us off.
Yeah, so Azir, one of our most banned, actually second most banned, and then third is Ori. So we'll see if that trade comes in, or maybe they lean towards something like the Talia instead. Ryze also an option. You're not pressured to take your mid right now, though. Could look to prioritize jungle instead, but they will just go for that Talia. All right. Happy with that matchup. We often see the Talia picked into the Azir. Last year there was a lot of that.
Talia Pantheon? Just go just like it's easy. Let's just do it.
It is very straightforward.
Do the stun, do the flick back, you know, and get the kills. That could be something that they go for.
That being said, with this Sion and the Rumble and Gwen, a lot of top laners trimmed out from the pool, so maybe there's something they want to get their hands on and prioritize here, like Ambessa open and available. But no, they're just gonna go. I mean, Vi, Talia, very powerful. We saw HLE win their game 1 with that.
Yep.
I think it makes AD carry have a difficult role, especially Diablo. Like, you think about stuff like Lucian, which is strong on the patch.
True.
Feels borderline impossible to play that into Vi, Talia, just point and click with the follow-up. Will just be Pantheon there for Raptor.
And Renekton as well.
Renekton, yeah.
Very Shuriman as far as our solo lanes are concerned. Let's see what casting is going to be taking into this Renekton. He might just pick Cassante or something like that.
We've seen a lot of Kennen into Renekton.
We have.
On this patch. Especially, I think, with the Gunblade as well being an option.
Yep.
Gnar also fine to pick into it. So we'll just pick that one up. Both teams haven't picked up that full top side. We assume, I think the only thing that can be flexed here is that Pantheon, but I don't think we will see that. And now it does go towards the bot lane.
Yeah, and so now probably going to be seeing a fair few of these support bans coming on through. You can see the Nico has already been taken away, but maybe the Alistar being looked at and stuff like that. I do think Alistar is somewhat of a trap, just because winning lane has been so important. And so banning away the Bard, things like this that can be a little bit more dangerous within the laning phase, could be a better option as Poppy taken away as well.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Alistar is, like, you have to really weather the storm and then find that value in team fights and be in a situation where you really can just deliver in the 5v5. But I think in this situation where Bro are on red side, if you pick like a strong marksman on 4 and then you have that 5th slot, you can make sure you're picking, you know, if they take something like an Alistar, you can punish it. If you, in reverse, can just take the Alistar yourselves if you know what the matchup is. They do ban the Lucian. Personally, I think Lucian would be really hard to play in this composition, but Diablo is very proficient on the champion.
Yep.
And Gnar are going to get taken away as well. There's still Corki open and available, which has been pretty high priority and could be picked up here. You know, Aphelios has seen a lot of play. Ezreal, definitely a bit of comfort for Teddy as well.
Yep, could be one of those. think there's plenty of things, but I think Teddy wanting to go for his pick does make a lot of sense. And the Ezreal, like you were saying, feels pretty good, especially for a player like Teddy. And it will be locked in.
Yeah, and I think you have a lot of options for support. You know, you can go definitely a more teamfight-oriented pick and just have a pretty stable lane, or you can go something that can punish heavily like the Karma, depending on what BNK FearX pick. And that is the big question. You know immediately that you're going to be under pressure from the Vi, so they opt to go for the Xayah. Have a bit of an out. Could just be that Xayah Rakan, yeah. And then here, for the side of Bro, you already have Vi to lead the charge in terms of engage, so maybe you opt to go for something to punish the lane with that Karma. I think this is the right call. You know, you outrange the Xayah. If you add engage, you know, there's a lot of disengage on the side of BNK FearX. You can kind of just harass from a distance and never really play into the Xayah until, you know, you've already landed that poke and it's just cleanup.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think this is a composition that we've seen, like at least the archetype of so many times on BNK FearX's side. It looks very much like something, you know, T1 used to play over and over and over again a couple of years back. And on the Bro side, certainly feeling a little bit reminiscent as well. So not exactly a whole bunch of surprises, going to be some honest League of Legends. As you mentioned, the Karma would have made a lot of sense as far as lane priority, but instead they do decide to go for the Leona to add a little bit of extra engage potential here for this squad. It also feels like for the Bros, they need a go button. They need an ease of getting in there and starting a scrap. And Leona will be adding to that. Yeah,
I think as well, Leona Ezreal is a pretty strong 2v2. And I think compared to other engage supports where you have to engage with your body, you can kind of throw the ult out.
Yeah.
You can force either Cleanse or Featherstorm from the Xayah, and you don't have to commit fully. You can kind of hold on to that for later. So still have that option there, and wanting a bit more engage, a bit more tools. But it does mean they don't have as much pressure in the lane compared to if they'd gone for that Karma. So trading off some of that early pressure in return for having a bulkier support and a bit more frontline in this team comp.
Yep. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, Leona has always matched up relatively well into the Rakan, so in theory that is kind of okay, even if you don't necessarily have the same level of pressure in the lane like you were talking about. But we'll just have to see how it is going to go as we get ready to load onto the Rift here for game number 1. All right, Bro fans in full voice here today. It looks like it wasn't everyone, it was only Dagon really that abandoned them. Everyone else stuck around, and plenty of fandom still here for the Bros. We'll see whether they can utilize that in order to get themselves a victory here.
Yeah, the Bro fandom is eternal.
It is, it is.
We should have told Dagon that.
Well, I mean,
thought he was aware.
Sometimes you're just a fake fan, and that's okay. I don't judge. All right, Pickler and Roma will be just laning it out. It's so weird to see the mid lane. We're normally just watching bot lane forever at this point in the game. And I believe there is somewhat of a tussle, as we can see here. Going in, does find a little bit of engage onto Callan.
Oh, and also, Namgung has actually gone Aftershock as well. We've seen a lot of Spellbook on picks like Leona and Alistair, who can kind of still... You're still quite bulky without having like a combat summoner, but opting to go for the Aftershock, so this will be a very durable Leona in comparison. Personally, I think there's still like a decent argument for the Glacial Augment, just on the fact that, you know, even if the Cleanse comes in, you still have like the slow field. But,
We are throwing out a lot of skill shots and not quite finding too many targets here.
Calibrating.
Yeah, Gleaming Quills and Zenith Blades and things like this all just flying to the wayside. As Clear, this was one of the champions that he really terrorized Challenger with when he was well at the tippy top. Him and Thanatos were really running the league a few years back, and this was one of the ways he did it. But casting, I believe, was actually there too at the same time, and playing stuff like this Gnar as well. So we have gone back in time a little bit with some of these picks, especially with Gnar creeping his way back into the meta. Kind of fun that we are taking a bit of a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, I feel like with the new season...
Bit of an engage here as Namgun goes in. Does get knocked up and will take a fair bit of damage here. Has to blow the heal just to get himself to safety.
Yeah, not the best angle for an engage, just because there was a big minion wave and your Ezreal can't really follow up with the Mystic shot. So Ends up burning the heal just to get out of that and not get rooted by the feathers, but not ideal, I would say, in that situation.
Was 80 carry health in trade for support health? Maybe that's a good thing for the bros?
Yeah, I think the problem is into a Rakan, there's just so much sustain. You know, he just hits a Gleaming Quill, and your 80 carries back to full. So I think I'm going to just kind of trying to find the right angles in lane. Oh, Vikla looking aggressive.
Yeah, speaking of finding angles in lane, Vikla doing a whole lot of work. Oh, just needed one more auto, but decides not to overextend. Flash was available there for Roma. Could have looked very silly if he flashed under that turret. And so is going to just go back to base. I'm going just trying to hold the wave here. Does have the Eclipse to help him out in that fashion. But it looks like BNK will be able to get themselves a pretty comfortable reset here. And with all of these feathers, yeah, we'll be able to just get this wave to crash and head back. Gideon looking for a bit of an angle here, though, as casting comes on over. Flash comes out to avoid the wallop. And that is good summon and spell gained.
Yep, nice pickup for the Renekton. And again, not much committed to get it. Just a little time spent there. Doesn't really interrupt Gideon's clear either. I feel like, you know, coming in the new season, you always expect things to be really wacky, really crazy, really different. And obviously a lot has changed in the game, but I feel like the comps we've seen have generally been quite, you know, reminiscent of times past.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not necessarily comps that have been, like, super recent, but we have seen them a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen a big evolution. It's not like Zahn in every game or anything like that. Although we did see him in the season opening. So there we go. There's at least something. Faker did play it. Maybe we'll get him back, but we'll just have to see.
I think that can sometimes be the awkward point with champions who are released in like the downtime, is that you miss their like OP cycle.
Yeah,
and they get nerfed down the normal levels.
That's why we didn't get Briar. It makes so much sense.
Well, Zahen was so OP when he actually was released, and then they toned him down massively, and then now he's just a normal guy.
Yeah, he's just Aatrox.
Yeah.
Kind of. Or is he Rost? Where are you on the, like, which champion is he?
I kind of feel like he's kind of old Aatrox vibes.
Yeah, a lot of old Aatrox vibes, but definitely a lot of, like, the thematics of Red Kayn, you know?
Yeah.
Just without any of the having to get to Red Kayn.
And technically, he's Xin Zhao, you know, in lore, so...
Oh, there you go.
We're kind of... A lot of direction.
So many different champions in one.
Yeah.
Perfect. A lot of value there for your blue crystals if you do decide to go for him. It's okay. Clear looking for an angle here towards casting, but the hop is going to be able to get casting out of there. Very frustrating is the mini Gnar, but you can see Clear dealing with this wave quite nicely. As Kellen bouncing around the wave, and they will be able to get another shove in. 10 CS the lead here for Diablo so far in this laning phase.
I think Teddy should be able to pick up a lot of that from that wave.
Yeah, true. Vikla deciding to go in when perhaps he should not have, but did have Raptor in wait.
Yeah, I think maybe Bro didn't fully anticipate the prospect of Vikla doing that, because he... That was
them by surprise as well.
Yeah, that was a move I think should really have been punished more, but ultimately Vikla playing very aggressive right now and not really paying for it. Azir definitely a pick that he lent on massively.
Oh yeah.
And was often just denied from him last year.
No. Oh, Raptor. A huge blunder. And
okay,
we'll be able to finally pick up. Imagine if casting had picked it up with a boomerang.
Oh
my god.
That would be a tilter.
Yeah, we would have seen a pause. And Raptor would have just left, I think. That's probably what would have happened. That's all right, clear. Just dashing around this wave and we'll be able to pick this one up. Actually, Renekton having a pretty good time, as we can see. But casting now with Mega Gnar coming up. We'll be just chasing him down as best he can.
It's not very
the Bros were really ready to kill him.
It's not very subtle, though, when he's about to hit Mega and he's running at you and, like, giving up the entire wave to do it. It kind of gives away the intent when mid lane's missing as well. So Clear plays respectfully, doesn't let any opportunity happen. And the game's been relatively slow so far as a result. There's been, like, little moments push and pull.
I feel like that probably benefits BNK. With the fact that they have a Xayah and an Azir that just very happily want to get towards the later stages of the game. Of course, Clear is going to spike more in the mid-game, but I think that they're not going to be too worried about that one. Azir and Xayah scaling going to be largely what they're looking for. But we'll just have to see. The Bros want some mid-game fights, get those skirmishes going, and they will be able to lock down a target of their choice with that cease and desist. And so we'll just have to see who that is going to be. A little bit difficult when Diablo does have his Featherstorm available. We've seen Xayah still get targeted pretty comfortably by things like the Vi.
We've seen the bot lane just Diablo and Kellen having the pressure, able to get... I just think whenever you have the prior on bot lane, you can push in and just consistently proc the crystalline overgrowth, get a bit more of that plate damage, get the plate progress as well for your quest. Put you in a great spot. And again, Bro opted into this lane matchup rather than having the Karma. So just being a little bit on the back foot as a result.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to mean for a dragon fight or something like that that is going to be coming up. An Infernal Drake, even just one, is going to feel pretty nice to get in this early stage of the game. But with both Grubs and the Drake up and available, certainly a smorgasbord of options as far as neutrals to fight over as Diablo takes a fair bit of damage from that True Shot Barrage. Teddy actually finding that Mystic Shot as well, so half health on the Xayah. But now looking for a bit of a reset anyway. Ooh, back towards this top lane is Gideon. For an angle towards clear. But I think he's just going to deal with this wave and then once again back away.
Yeah, I mean, Gideon's really been trying to make something happen in the top lane, just hasn't come through, other than getting that flash early, which is back up now.
Yeah, that's the problem. They haven't been able to get enough done, and now Clear just has it again. And let's see whether they can actually kill him, though, as he does have the Dominus available. He will need to press it, and he may not be able to. He doesn't! He's just chain CC'd and taken out. That is a beautiful first blood to be picked up here by the Bros.
Doesn't get to play the game, but the counterpoint is that a lot of time spent overall by Gideon. The Grubs were picked up by Raptor, and he is ahead in farm, so it's a good kill, good pick up there. Execution was good on the play, but BNK FearX, I think their jungler making good use of the time otherwise.
Yep, casting now, sacrificing half of his health bar in order to try and get that plate. Didn't quite get there, but the Renekton does have to walk all the way towards the lane. He is booking it with the home guards, but may not quite be able to get there before that wave is crashed in and that plate is taken.
Nicola just grabbing the cannon before he dipped away there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he had his priorities right.
No -1s for Vikler in 2026.
얘들아 이거 용 바로 맞대는 거보다 유충
Oh, and there was some coach voice here to start us off. So letting BNK know exactly where they need to attack. Yep, and use Renekton Prio to make the Grub fight work out. Well, Renekton Prio was definitely there, but the priority was on killing the Renekton and not the Grub. So I guess they did kind of get what they wanted, but sacrificed a bit more than I guess they were otherwise planning to do, as Teddy has to flash, and in goes Namgung once again, as the Bros look to try and fight back, but still not exactly making ground, as Raptor does have this Drake down to below half as Gideon comes in and looks to try and capitalize. Roamer is over here, and you can see Vikler down there as well. Solar Flare comes through. True Shot Barrage, a lot of damage as the Drake is taken by Gideon. Raptor trying to get out, but he's unable to do so, and now Diablo has to let those feathers fly. Pulls them back, and now Gideon, the gorgeous Vault Breaker flash to pick up the kill onto Kellen, and the Bros with 3 in a row and no answer from BNK make that 4.
Such a good fight there from the Bros. I think BNK FearX, very split. Vikler didn't really have access to the fight, very disconnected from the rest of the team, and Teddy getting so much value off his ultimate there. So Dragon picked up and a ton of kills as well. Exactly the start they need. You can see here, so Diablo and Kellen are trying to like force Namgun and Teddy away in this situation. But notice that Talia's already coming down. And look, Kellen moves to help his AD carry. They take that massive True Shot Barrage. Their jungler's almost dead already. And there's no support from the mid lane yet. So they just have to disengage, run away. And it's just cleanup time for the Bros. That Gideon get a great flash.
Yeah, that was very, very cute. You can see now, we're going to try and kill Diablo as well. And he will be able to do so very comfortably. Gorgeously played. All right. Yeah, he's having a good time.
So Sundered Sky was already completed for Gideon. You saw it in the replay, had that available, so was really strong going into that.
Oh, Namgung looking a little bit aggressive as well here, as you can see Gideon making his way back down towards that bottom side as well. Solar Flare is going to be avoided, at least for the stun, but Diablo, no Featherstorm, no chance, and he is just taken out once again. 5-0 here for the Bros, approaching a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and that was such good timing because you burnt everything from the enemy Xayah, And that is exactly when you want to start a fight. So the ult from Namgung doesn't connect, but it forces him backwards, which allows Gideon to get in the range. They land the CC, and now things are really heavily in favor of the Bros. 2,600 gold lead. They're in a great spot.
They are certainly in a very good position. This is why you don't take Gideon grubs from Gideon. Because he will just destroy you elsewhere on the map. Maybe that's something they can look at for game number 2, because this game number 1 is looking pretty dire. Let's have a look at this one more time, as Namgung actually really has stepped it up from what was a pretty disappointing performance in their first game.
That was a great Zenith Blade. Gets the Q down, the stun onto the Xayah just as the knockup was going to come in, just as he was going to leave range. And then the ult forces him to walk back into his team. And I think a bit of a mistake as well for the BNK FearX bot lane, walking up so aggressively without any sums, without any cooldowns. And now they are playing aggressive again. They do have ultimates back though this time, so a bit more to play around with.
Yeah, the scary thing is that Teddy has a Trinity Force, so any fight is just not going to feel exactly even, as Kellen just going to walk in here. They do have full information as to what's going on. There's a double knock-up as the Feather Pull is going to get Teddy out of there, but now I'm going back in once again. True Shot Barrage, big value one more time, but Kellen's able to walk his way out, and it looks like the Bros not interested in a fight, as Casting is interested in picking up some plates.
That looked a little
top lane.
A little spooky, the Zenith Blade that took him backwards. It looked like he was nearly in a bad situation, but the ult was good, and Teddy getting the damage down meant that they didn't want any of that. 2v3 and they forced him away. Just kind of shows how scary this Ezreal is already, and you know, this mid game is going to be a great place for Bro to really take control of this game. I mean, they're already in control, but really push it further. Yeah,
this is the scary thing. The snowball is beginning to roll, and when you've got a champion like Vi, they can just decide to kill you. It just makes it very, very hard to stop said snowball from its rolling down the hill. And let's see whether there's going to be a way that BNK can make that happen or not. Maybe some more coach voice going to be necessary. Try and get Edo in there to help them out.
Yeah, we just had all of the role quests kind of rapid fire come in. A minute or two ago, we only had a few, but all of those are now completed across the board. Summoners are starting to come back up as well. In that last Dragon fight, basically everything was used. So you can see Diablo's flash and Teddy's flash are like the last two major ones we're kind of waiting for. We do finally have the Essence Reaver first item for the Xayah coming through, but that Dragon in 40 seconds, Herald coming up as well on the map, so big objectives to play for. This is really a critical point of the game. Bro, 3,000 gold ahead. This is where they can accelerate that lead and really take it to a point where you might not be able to claw it back at all. But for BNK FearX, this is like do or die. Or the question is, do they just give it up and look to scale a bit longer? You're already in a big deficit. Could you try and trade sides of the map? Could you try and sacrifice an objective? Or are you going to fight your way back into the game?
We'll see whether they do decide to do that. 10 seconds until the Dragon is up and available. Right now, Diablo eating a few extra plates as Namgung making his way down towards his bottom side once again. They get the information. Battle Dance gets Kellen out of there. As Gideon goes in, Vault Breaker doesn't quite connect, but Roma makes his way over immediately. Flash forward from Namgung as they lock down this Pantheon, but he absorbs so much of the pressure. There's the grand entrance as well as Clear makes his way amongst it. They're looking for that shutdown, and I think they're going to get it as Gideon very barely gonna go down as they trade it for the Renekton. Big shutdown money though over to Clear, and it's BNK that actually come out on top 2-1 as Kellen makes his way out as well.
Exactly what you want for this situation, and Raptor going to be able to back off and heal, has the ult. We see Vikla forced away here, but a trade up to BNK FearX, and
so much money, man. Look at that. Yeah. They cut the gold lead in half with that play. And with this turret going down as well, that is first turret blood going on over. So that is just going to even things out almost entirely as we move to about 1,000 gold lead, which means next to nothing at this stage of the game. Still very, very close.
So much committed here onto the Pantheon, and so much time was bought, right? The stun initially, and then the perfect timing for the Aegis to block all of that combo. Kellen then comes in and Clear is so hard to deal with at this point in the game. Dives in, and even though Gideon survives for a long time, doesn't change his fate. Yeah. It's a great trade from Clear, gets the 800 gold shutdown, only gives over his life in return. And in the meantime, his team was cleaning up that kill onto Leona as well, so very favorable.
Yeah.
Does mean they've given up a bit of control around the Dragon, but they're trying to push in now.
Yeah, it's like Vikla and Raptor looking to try and take this crab, but the Dragon is just taken away in front of them. It's a Hextech Soul as well this game.
Okay. I think it's honestly okay to have given up the dragon if you've lost. Oh, Clear.
Clear needs to decide not to die, I think, as we are just going to peek to see who's making their way up, as there's the flash and the big Nara into the wall, and Casting just grabs the solo bolo. Nothing Kellen could do to help him with that one.
Yeah, not great. And the Triforce movement speed just letting him run him down. Clear's Dominus was like 2 seconds away when he got ulted, but a pretty big flub from Clear, who had such a good team fight just before. Gets ran down there, and Bro picking that dragon pretty much for free. You saw, Rakan on the top side of the map here, Kellen hovering here. So like this should be BNK4X's strong side of the map. They have more members here. Like Pantheon was even, coming over. The fact that Casting gets this solo kill and gets away is a pretty rough look for BNK4X.
Just looked kind of odd. But sometimes you just get mini-nod, and it's a problematic case. That is precisely what happened there. 2-0-1 now for Casting. I mean, in his side lane, he's going to be so scary.
That's the thing, is like eventually the nod just runs away in the side lane, but the fact it's happening already, he's got like a 2-level lead, and it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse.
Yep. Well, Clear is going to see what he can do here with Raptor now in tow. Casting just narring them both into the wall. Kellen making his way down now, though. And Gideon's going to get on in here. And I don't think he's going to be enough to save Casting. That's a great Vault Breaker, though. And they might be able to get one. There is Kellen falling down. But now Gideon is in trouble. Vault Breaker with a double knockback as the Aegis comes through one more time. But cease and desist says goodbye to the Pantheon. It's a double as Gideon is angry after falling down earlier on. And now Clear, can you actually stay alive? As Namgung is delivered to the turret, but down will go the Crocodile, and the Bros back on the horse once again.
So well played there by Gideon. It felt like his ability spacing was so good throughout that, and so much was committed by BNK4X to take down this Gnar, and they paid heavily for that kill.
And it means now 2.4k, the advantage once again here for the Bros. We'll check it out one more time.
Look at the value, so the ult comes in, into the wall, gets the double stun, and then here, when all three are together, Gideon's waiting, gets the double stun, ends up with a triple stun from the Gnar, and then the two-shot barrage comes through. Again, another double knockback. Ults gets to the other side of the Pantheon to finish him off quickly, and then chases down Clear, gets a bit more damage, and then Namgun with this max range Zenith Blade to follow him after the dash.
That was sick.
Just felt like all of Bro's abilities were just perfectly placed for the most part. And once again, pulling back to about that 2,600 gold lead, and Gideon monster-fed on this Vi in this game.
Yeah, gorgeously played here by the Bros. One thing I am scared about is the fact that Diablo has made it to 2 items, seeing him here on screen right now, and he got so many plates and that first turret, which means that he actually has a gold advantage over Teddy, who is 1-0-4 in this game. Was actually pretty fed earlier on, but is now at a bit of a deficit as far as his lane is concerned. That is being made up for by everyone else. As you can see, 2,000 gold in the lead is Gideon. This Vi is massively problematic. But Diablo has done some pretty amazing things in the past, and we'll see whether that is something that can actually get done here today as well. And it's a lot of pressure because things are looking a little dire.
Especially at this point in the game, like this is a great spike for Xayah, don't get me wrong, because you get the Essence Reaver procs alongside the just almost zero cooldowns it feels like when you just autoing freely. But you're into an Ezreal on this 2-item spike, which just feels like so much power.
Oh yeah.
The Talia as well is in a great position, so Bro are in a position of power right now, and BNK4X have to kind of just stabilize the game. Dragon in a minute, and again, as you said earlier, it's Hextech Soul. If an Ezreal gets a Hextech Soul, it's kind of just a done deal, it feels like, so.
Not a whole lot of fun. Roamer as well, I think Talia can really make use of Hextech Soul as well, being able to throw out those volleys and slow people down, hold them into position, and of course it's them running away from your abilities that's problematic, because now Vikla going to be the target here of Gideon, charging up that Vault Breaker, but Vikla does not take the bait.
Yeah, I think was waiting for him to maybe walk in close enough to the brush so he could just Q him or ult him, but there was a ward in the tri-brush, so I think he was spotted heading over. Not able to find a pick before the objective, and now 15 seconds of the Dragon. Both teams kind of leaning more towards the Baron side, wanting to consolidate vision there before they move down. But if we look on the bot side of the map, that's all Bro vision. You can see the double control wards in the river, a bunch of wards through the jungle of BNK4X. So they just don't have any vision there. Oh.
Right. Roma is now taking a lot of damage, though, as Vikler is just going to flash over the top towards him. Gideon down in position, though, now as cease and desist comes in, but Gideon may actually be overextended. Namgung's making his way in, but there's a teleport from the Crocodile Weaver's Wall to deliver this to Leah. Back into the fight, and down goes Vikler. Raptor in trouble, tries to pick it up, and he does manage to take down Roma, but it's a 2-for-1 as now Clear looking to try and get on top of Teddy, as Kellen looks to get over that. That arcane shift was absolutely insane, or was it a flash? They both look pretty similar, and Teddy makes his way out.
I was certain he was dead in that situation. He had the flash, had the arcane shift, but you know, Kellen was ready for him, and the charm does end up clipping him, but the timing, it felt like was perfect for him to get out. Teddy just evades Kellen there.
And BNK looking a bit silly after that, Ox.
Yeah, and now with Raptor dead, this should just be an easy dragon pickup for the bros. 3 dragons in pocket, gotta feel good. I mean, Diablo's so low as well. This is a done deal for this dragon.
Oh yeah, that's Soul Point over to the bros as well. And one more Drake away from Hextech Soul is just kind of ridiculous. As we'll check this one out one more time. It did look like Vikler had a decent angle here onto Roma, getting the full combo down. But the fight with the inside track is just so dangerous.
You have the Pantheon, you think you have the advantage, but it's a great flash down from Roma to get to his team quickly. And Namgun with this ult, max range basically, to get the stun on the Azir, allows Gideon to clean up the kill. And then the squad's there. Raptor does clutch it and get that kill in return. But then here, I want to see what happened with Teddy. We don't get a chance, unfortunately, but that timing, I felt like, on his flash was flawless there to get out.
Yep, beautifully done.
And now, bro, you're 3,000 gold up, you got 3 dragons in pocket. You're feeling very comfortable in this game.
And that's a Guardian Angel now done for Gideon as well, so even more difficult to take down this Vi. I think eyes even further glued towards Diablo, who will get hit by that True Shot Barrage, and so does Raptor. So high value there from Teddy, getting a lot of damage with his ultimate so far this game. As we'll just have to see. Still waiting for a good, honest team fight here. There's been a lot of getting picks here for the bros.
When you start getting a lead in the jungle, because of the quest changes, getting the extra golden experience from camps, you can just really ramp it up. And Gideon has like a 40 CS lead over Raptor, so he's so far ahead.
Well, there is a Nard to come out here from casting. Gets back to Mini Nard to try and boost that speed. Has the boomerang. And in comes the Pantheon. There's the stun, and down goes casting. Good pick off here by BNK. But where is the cross map for the bros?
Yeah, this was a risky timing with Baron being up and available. But remember, they made neutral objectives so much tankier, so much harder to take down. And the fact that there is a ward on the Baron, and they kind of got the sense that Bro just wasn't in a position to rush it. So Raptor goes for the bot side play, gets the kill, and manages to get away with it without any real cross map. Now they'll look for the mid tower, but that True Shot Barrage is going to force them away. So no objective translation from BNK Fearex, but a nice kill pickup. Yeah, with no chance of a cross map.
Yeah, it does feel like the timing on the kill just not quite working out there. Could have otherwise been a dragon or something like that, but instead unable to actually leverage anything, not even able to get that last plate in the mid lane to try and open up the map here for BNK. But still, I still feel like we just haven't had that honest-to-goodness 5v5, you know? That's what I want to see. I feel like that's what a, Zyra Rakan Azir-style composition wants to look for the majority of the time.
I feel like a lot of the fights have been very split that we've had in this game. Yeah. You know, it's been, oh, there's a fight starting, we're going to join it, we're going to get over there. And I feel like this next dragon is going to be that structured 5v5, or at least an attempt at it. So we'll see. Surprisingly, both teams maintaining their mid-tier ones throughout all of this.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Especially with the crystalline overgrowth, it kind of means that if someone just gets up to it and autos it, that would break it, but both teams have been running full defense to try and make sure that doesn't happen.
And that is continuing here as Diablo does at least get up to it.
I mean, if the wave comes in and he autos, this should be a gone.
All right, and yeah, basically one shot.
Finally gets it down, so I can push that wave a little bit deeper and try and get some vision towards this topside jungle.
Does feel like BNK have somewhat stabilized this game, though. A little bit worrisome here for the bros. All right, there's a grand entrance, but an engage onto a Leona is not exactly the best thing. He gets exhausted, and they're still looking for it. And I'm going to go down, but the rest of the bros not actually opting in for anything as Roma will get tagged here by Clear, but he just slices his way out of there.
Yeah, this Crocodile feels very weak. Like, you think about the fact that the top lane quest gives you extra experience, and you're the same level as your AD carry and lower level than your mid laner.
He's lower level than the enemy jungler, Ox.
Yeah, it's not been going so well for the Renekton, but this was a good pick onto the Leona. That's the thing with Leona compared to Rakan, is you don't have that easy way to get out. Was flashless. They kind of just chase him down in the situation. It won't translate to much, but it does force him down. Then Clear, you know, he walks up to Rome, and Rome was like, "What are you doing? You're not a crocodile. You're a gecko at this point."
Yeah, he kind of is. A little bit of a shame. That's all right. At least he can walk up walls.
That's cool. That's nifty.
Geckos are pretty nifty. They're nifty lizards, but they're not as scary as crocodiles. It's absolutely true. As Kellen and Namgung, once again, some supporter combat, but you can see Gideon making his way in. Kellen will find the quickness there to charm up both of them, and Gideon's going to go down to his GA very, very quickly. Namgung now going to be the next target as Diablo. Free hitting is there. The shot wide, it finds two! As Vikla gets the angle, Teddy's taken down, and BNK cannot be stopped! Everyone getting taken out of this fight, and it's only Roma left over. BNK, they should be able to take themselves a Baron, take themselves a Drake. This game is flipped on its head.
And that's the 5v5 they were waiting for. Vikla with that beautiful shuffle coming in and clutching it. And now Baron in pocket. Dragon's coming up soon. They will be able to move over to that. They've got time. Everything is just turned around in this game. We'll see the replay. And Gideon, he's trying to go for this trade into Kellen, but, you know, with the Celestial opposition and the quickness, you don't have the follow-up to burst him. One of your strongest members in this Vi kind of just wasted the GA, and then Vikla, this angle, catches him after the Arcane Shift.
Teddy
Beautiful
was
play.
so close to being out of that, but Vikla finds the perfect angle. We're going to have a look at it from his perspective here, as he's letting everyone know that he's coming, he's ready. And, oh, what a beautiful flash. Okay, we talk about, like, it was the year of Dudu yesterday on the casts, what we were hearing about. I think maybe it's actually the year of Vikla.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'll be brutally honest, I feel like there were times where BNK Fearax was successful last year with Vikla underperforming and just not being that solid, and it felt like sometimes they really had to work with him when he wasn't having the best performances. But so far this year, he has been smashing it. And if he's playing at this level, I don't know what the limit's going to be for BNK Fearax. Like, this level of form for Vikla just really puts another level to this team entirely.
And we were talking about the bros potentially winning Worlds. Maybe it's actually BNK.
Maybe.
Maybe it's their time. That's if we don't have, you know, T1 trying to go for 4 in a row. But I think, you know, 3 in a row was pretty good.
It was enough, right?
We can chill out now. Maybe give someone else a shot. Maybe BNK Fearax.
But I just think as well, like, clearly with BNK Fearax, right, we saw a lot of strong points last year, but, you know, one of the few teams to keep the full roster together for 2026, and we're kind of seeing, you know, what is the evolution, right? You've stuck together for that long time, you're now deciding to continue, and where is the evolution from there? And it seems like Vikla stepping up in this way is really going to take them to another level, and now they're the ones with about the 3,000 gold lead that we saw Bro kind of have throughout this game. But to be able to push down this tower as well. Oh, Diablo, a little bit chunked.
He has taken every single True Shot barrage. Into the backline does go Gideon as Diablo over the wall, pulls back the feathers, and keeps himself alive. Another gorgeous shuffle as Vikla comes in to save the day. And somehow, Diablo is still standing, and I think the bros are not after that one, as it looks like BNK are looking to push down mid lane for the win.
Must be so disheartening for Gideon. Comes in on the flank, finds the AD carry so close to taking him down before he uses that ultimate. But it does come through, the feathers come in, and BNK Fearax turn it around, and now a huge gold lead. The state of the game, you know, blink and you miss it, because Bro was so far ahead for so much this game, and now it looks like it's just over.
Yeah. It's looking pretty doomed here, as Casting in a lot of trouble. Vikla looking to finish off a couple of extra kills, as Namgung desperately trying to hold them at bay, but it's not going to work out, as Casting, yeah, I don't think he's going to get much of an R here, and he does not. It's a double kill for Vikla, and well-deserved. Moving to 5-1 and 8 here as they look to take down the Nexus here in game number 1. And man, the bros, to quote Skara once again, they were winning until they lost.
That was it, but That's how it goes.
Yeah, Casting doing a lot of damage in this game. In fact, the most out of anybody else on the Rift, but I don't think it's the damage numbers that really tell the story of this one. It was when B&K were actually able to get their team fights in order, and the coordination was just that step ahead of the Bros, and it's understandable.
계속 미드에서 쳐내려고.
더 해봤어.
탑에 바위 찍히면 이즈도 강.
바위 보였어.
바위 미드 아래.
아이라 나 탑쪽 압박 줄게
이쪽으로.
똑같이.
우리 미드 타워 치는 중 얘들아. 미드 본다 얘네.
미드 맞아, 미드 맞아, 미드 맞아.
가는 중.
바위 막을게. 잘 봐줘야 돼.
대거 유지해봐.
나 이제 더 그냥 이제 봐줘.
이제 꿀이야.
나 나름 바꿔줘.
나 큐래.
야 끝내자.
나 나름 바꿔줘.
아
끝낼까?
빨리야 노플이거든.
나 펄떡 돼.